Can you ask open questions in cross-examination? Welcome. In this video, we're going to tackle the thorny issue of whether it's ever appropriate to ask open questions in cross-examination. As you know, in cross-examination, a leading question should be asked in order to control the witness. As a reminder, a leading question is one that includes or suggests or tends to suggest its own answer. Ideally, a leading question will elicit a yes or no response from the witness. An example of a leading question would be, Usain Bolt was a fast runner, wasn't he? Or, Usain Bolt was a fast runner? Incidentally, the first question has the tag, wasn't he? The second question does not. Both questions are permissible. Both are leading questions requiring a yes or no response. Turning to open questions, an open question allows the witness the opportunity to provide a full narrative in answering the question. It doesn't limit the scope of the witness's answer. A classic open question, sometimes asked in examination in chief or direct examination, is, what happened next? What happened next? I'm so glad you asked that question. Well, I got up at 5 a.m. as usual. I always get up at 5 a.m. to do my yoga. I found my joints have got really stiff lately. They literally creak when I bend down. Anyway, I was in downward facing dog when I heard a loud noise. I didn't pay too much attention because I was focusing on my breathing. It's really important that you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. As you can see, there are risks associated with asking open questions. The risk is that it can be really difficult to elicit the precise information you want from the witness. Also, you could lose control of the witness. So, why ask an open question in cross-examination, given that it's absolutely essential to maintain control of the witness? Well, open questions can be useful to expose a witness who has committed themselves to an implausible position. Watch the following demonstration to see how this works in practice. You say that the force you used was reasonable? Yes, absolutely. You accept that Mr. Graham was hospitalized following the altercation with you? Yes. You also accept that he sustained a punctured lung, correct? Yes. A fractured left cheekbone? Yes. A broken nose? Yes. Bruising around both eyes? Yes. Traumatic brain injury? Yes. How much more damage might you have done if you had not used reasonable force? The last question is an open question. However, there is no possibility that the defendant will be able to damage the advocate's case in answering the question. Before the open question, the defendant had agreed with the uncontentious facts put to him. It's obvious that on the facts, the defendant had inflicted really serious injuries on the complainant. He is not going to be able to plausibly answer the open question in a way that would support his assertion that the force used was reasonable. It's likely that a lengthy silence would follow, whilst the defendant desperately tries to find an answer that will not damage his case. Your tribunal would be on the edge of their seats, waiting to see how the defendant is going to get out of his predicament. However, the facts speak for themselves. The force used could not have been reasonable in the circumstances. Rather than just putting to the witness, "You did not use reasonable force," it's clear that tactically it was much better to ask the open question. The open question was therefore used to good effect. A word of caution. Extreme caution should be exercised when asking the open question. I would not advise inexperienced advocates to ask open questions in cross-examination. You may do great damage to your case if the witness says something that you had not anticipated and cannot recover from. If open questions are asked, do so sparingly and make sure you prepare a response for every possible answer and ensure the response won't harm your case. You now know when to ask an open question in cross-examination. See you next time.